So today I thought I'd do something a little bit different and go through all the games I played in 2025 and put them on this lovely little tier list that you see in front of you. Now, this is not going to be in the order of which I played each game last year, it's just these are the games I played to a reasonable degree, hence why we're gonna go for it. So I say let's rock and roll. Starting off with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Oh, Mario Kart. So, I've been playing Mario Kart 8 base game since it came out in 2014. Yeah, I owned a Wii U. We'll talk about that another day, I promise. But so, I owned the Wii U back in the day, bought the DLC when it was DLC, and then when Mario Kart 8 Deluxe came out, I said, okay, great, you all have fun, I own this game already, I'm not gonna buy it again. Then Nintendo came out with one of the only bundles I could find for the Switch at the time, which was the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe bundle with the Nintendo Switch. So guess what I ended up doing? Buying Mario Kart 8 Deluxe with the Nintendo Switch. And this game has some really good 3-lap tracks. Really good 3-lap tracks. Like base game and DLC, which I guess is base game now, were really fun to do back in the day. And even to this day, I still love racing on those tracks. It's a very competitive game. Not to mention that I've actually been able to try the new battle modes, and they significantly improved from Mario Kart 8. I love, try and get... okay, Balloon Battle was there originally. I think Coin Runners was there too. But I really liked, Renegade Roundup, that was another fun one. I really liked playing the battle modes against other people in that. So I'm grateful to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe for that, and also adding in DLC. I really wasn't expecting Mario Kart DLC when they announced it. I was expecting a whole new game, but instead we got DLC, which was really cool. Although my biggest complaint about the DLC is that graphically it doesn't look the same as the rest of base Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I don't know, it's clear they just pulled it off from Mario Kart Tour, but that's okay, they're allowed to do that. That doesn't mean I have to agree with it. But overall, the tracks are really fun, and there is no other racing game I would rather play than Mario Kart 8 Deluxe most days, so I think for that reason alone, it's going to go in A tier, and I'm going to give it the honor. It's a good game, I can't deny it. So Pokemon Legends Arceus. Or Arceus, depending on who you are. Pokemon, I've tapped out on new generation Pokemon, not gonna lie. I haven't played most new generation games. The last Pokemon game I played all the way through was Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Those were the last Pokemon games I played all the way through. I owned Sun and Moon, never completed them, and Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, never completed those either. And I kinda gave up on new generation Pokemon, never played Sword and Shield. Most Pokemon games for the Switch I kinda skipped on, unless it was, well, the remake of Diamond and Pearl. Even though it's not as good as Diamond and Pearl, it's still pretty good. I think that I look at Pokemon Legends Arceus, and it kind of blew me out of the water. I wasn't sure what I was getting into with this game. I just knew that we were going back to the past, and it was about catching Pokemon, which I feel like a lot of Pokemon games aren't actually about catching Pokemon rather than taking on the gym. So it was nice seeing a Pokemon game that just completely broke the standards, and it had no gyms at all, but you still had trainer battles, so you had to have some Pokemon trained up, but also it was about catching Pokemon and completing the Pokedex. I really liked how this game encouraged me to complete the Dex, and also try and resolve a conflict between two different teams. I felt like I was playing a different version of Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald, but it was good. Like, the conflict between the Diamond and Pearl clans was good, and turns out they were both right, so that was fun. It was nice to have a good conflict between these two teams that didn't really hate each other, but felt like they needed to hate each other. But just they really wanted to say that, hey, I was right, I'm right, and in reality, they were both right. In reality, there was a third one that they all kept forgetting about. Sorry, Giratina, you deserve better. Although, I will say from the game's story perspective, it was a good story. But the main villain of the entire narrative, if you choose to go in for it, a post-game content, and I won't spoil it here for those that actually care about it. Oh, it made me so mad. It made me so mad because it was a twist villain, which isn't a problem inherently. There are good twist villains, and there have been good twist villains, and there will be again. This was not one of them, okay? Like, the twist villain on this one was just... it wasn't believable. It wasn't believable to the point where I was like, oh yeah, they could totally be a villain. Like, I go back and I watch the interactions I had with this character, and I still don't see it. It's not like going back and watching Frozen, for example, and you can see, oh yeah, Hans is the villain. Like, going back and seeing that, like, seeing it back in the day absolutely shocked me, but also didn't surprise me too much because I'm like, well, Anna's gonna end up with Kristoff. Like, that's clear from the marketing. Who's this Hans guy? So I kind of predicted that one, not gonna lie, back in the day. But Like, when you think about a good twist villain, I don't consider this villain a good twist villain. But that being said, this game is still really fun. I enjoy being able to catch all the Pokemon and filling out the decks, and the gameplay is what makes me come back for it. The story, not as much, but the gameplay definitely makes me come back to it over and over again. So I would say B tier for sure, because I think there are aspects where it could be better, but also it was good in many aspects, so I really can't complain. Ooh, okay, Panel to Pawn. So if you've never played Panel to Pawn or Tetris Attack, as many of you may know it, it's a good puzzle game where you basically have to arrange the blocks. You basically have to change the blocks horizontally as they're coming up from the bottom of the screen and make matches that way. And this is a game my husband and I play competitively a lot, at least against each other. And we're both pretty good at it, I like to think. We both start at set level 7, and we're definitely have met each other's match on that level, trust me. Any matches could take anywhere from like a minute to 3, really just depending on the loadouts we get and how good we are, how on top of our game we are that day, but they don't feel like they last that long. They feel like they last even longer. And to me, that's the mark of a really good game, where you just lose track of time playing it because it's that good. In fact, I just played this last night with my spouse, at least before I recorded this. So, I also really like each of the girls and their themes. They're really fun. Being able to listen to a nice song in the background, some of them are soothing, some are more peppy, and just being able to, you know, have fun while being supported by these cute little fairies. Like, it's just a really cute game, and but it also the stakes get really high, and it gets really tense sometimes, but I love a good competitive match of Panel to Pawn. Honestly, this game goes in S tier. Like, there's nowhere else it could go. It's just that good. Okay, the original Paper Mario. Ooh. This is gonna be hard. So, I'm a huge fan of Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door. I played it first. This was probably my first mistake, was playing Thousand Year Door first. Unfortunately, that's the one I had access to back in the day. I did not own Paper Mario for years. It wasn't until last year that I finally got to play the original Paper Mario. I've been playing Thousand Year Door since I was like 10, 11, 12. Oh goodness. But the original Paper Mario definitely was a big stepping stone and resulting in how Thousand Year Door came to be. So I definitely respect Paper Mario for that. It's a good RPG with a good combat system, and it could definitely see where Thousand Year Door gets its inspiration from. Also, the spin dash is goated, and I miss it. I want them to bring it back. Please bring it back. It was really good. I miss my movement speed. But, that being said, the partners are kinda not there. Similar to Super Paper Mario, similar problem in that one, is that the partners just kinda exist, and there's not much there, like, dialogue-wise, and there's not much there personality. I mean, there's something there personality-wise. They each have a personality, but I feel like that you get them, and then they kinda just fade into the background, and it makes me feel bad, because I really like the partners. Like, I love Watt. Watt is genuinely, like, one of the cutest things I've ever seen in my life. It's very original, too, like a ball of literal light. How awesome is that? But she just doesn't do much of anything. Unless we're in battle, and even then she doesn't do much of... Okay, she does some stuff. But it's one of those where I think that there are definitely improvements that could have been made and were made in the sequel. But the original Paper Mario definitely set the groundwork for many things, and I'm grateful that it did set the groundwork for many of those things that I came to love. And the badge system is definitely genius. Like, I also find it interesting working around a BP cap of 30. I actually like it better than having unlimited BP in many ways, because it forces me to have to strategize and think about how I want to organize my badge points, and that's just nothing wrong with that. I don't see a problem there. So, actually, I like that a lot. I like how it caps you on the level ups in some ways, but also I kind of wish it would let you keep going forever and ever. I will say, though, that all the fights were genuinely fun. I never experienced any big hiccups with Paper Mario. I really enjoyed it. So, I think overall, I'm going to place it in B tier, but that's not because it's a bad game, it's just because I know what comes after, and I know what comes after is peak. Alright, Disney Dreamlight Valley. Alright, so if you want a good cozy game, and you want Disney characters, I got it. It's this game right here. And there's a reason for that. There is a story there is a plot. Basically, if you've never played Disney Dreamlight Valley, here's the plot in a nutshell. You used to live in Dreamlight Valley a long time ago, but it's been, everyone there was an event called the Forgetting and everyone's gone. So now you have to bring them all back and rebuild the town to its former glory. That's essentially the game in a nutshell. And you do, obviously. And the story really got me. I'm not gonna lie, the story of this actually hurt a lot. Like, it definitely talks a lot about mental health. Without spoiling anything, it talks about mental health and depression and anxiety, and those are things I can relate to. So I wholeheartedly, like, vibed with the story. Also, it's Disney characters. It was fun. And to this day, I still keep playing this game because even though, like, I'm done with the main story, there's still a lot of quests on the side I can do, like a lot of friendship quests to make friends with the villagers and level them up and basically get to learn more about them, their lives, and what they like to do. And it's nice being able to talk to a Disney character in a setting that's not just Kingdom Hearts. As someone that likes watching the Kingdom Hearts series, I haven't actually played a game for myself yet. I will change that someday. I really like being able to interact with Disney characters and being able to just be friends with them. Because I've always wanted to be friends with Mickey Mouse. Like, come on, who hasn't? And I can be friends with Peter Pan too. This is great. Best day of my life. The big issue with Disney Dreamlight Valley, and I think it's because I'm playing the Switch version, although I hear other versions have some difficulties too, the game crashes quite a bit. I can play for a couple hours, and then it'll just crash on me doing something completely random. So I have to save constantly, in many ways, out of fear of losing all my progress, which is bad. I would not call that an upside. However, I do really like it as a cozy game, and I think if it weren't for the crashes, it would be S tier, but because it crashes enough, I'm actually going to put it A tier. It's genuinely become enough of a problem, but I'm like, yeah, I can't say S, even though I want to say S. It's one of the few games I've bought DLC for, which is, that for me, that's a really hard sell. I'm really bad at buying DLC, because I'm just like, the base game should be enough. What do you mean it wasn't complete till later? But I actually bought DLC for this because I really enjoy it, so that's how it is. Okay, the original Octopath Traveler. I didn't actually beat the story of this game this year, but I did attempt a challenge run this year, and I had a lot of fun revisiting this one. However, I was trying to do it immediately after playing Octopath Traveler 2. You could probably see how well that went. So Octopath Traveler 2 is a great game, and I'll get to it later because it's on this list. And the original Octopath Traveler definitely set a really good groundwork, but frankly, there was nothing wrong with the original Octopath Traveler. And that is probably controversial because I know a lot of people don't love the story of that JRPG, but Octopath Traveler has some really good stories that really, they made my heart melt and made it hurt, and it was really good. There are no words to express how much I love the original Octopath Traveler. Like, I started with Alphen, that's my apothecary, and I absolutely adored him. And then I got Therion, or Therion, however the heck you say his name, and loved him. Like, to the point where I literally said to my husband after I finished the game, I'm adopting all of them. I don't care if some of them are older than me. I'm adopting them. They are my children now. So we have at least 16 children because I did the same with both the Octopath 1 and 2 Travelers. We'll talk about that later though. So I really like all these characters and their stories. Their personalities too, they just fit exactly who they are. They are exactly who you would expect them to be, not even just based on profession, but just how they act in general. And that says a lot, that these characters are well written, and I just had a lot of fun experiencing the game with them. And each of them having different jobs or classes, if you will, was just the icing on the cake. I felt like I could change up my loadout to anything, and it would be different no matter what I chose to do. That was really, really, really nice. I really liked being able to say I could put together a team of an apothecary, a thief, a dancer, and a cleric. Or I could choose, you know, the warrior, the scholar, and the merchant, and I'm forgetting a class, and the hunter, and it would be completely different game experiences depending on who you chose. And also being able to assign, like, different jobs to each of these people, like as a secondary class as well, that was basically genius, because it made it so I could take around anyone I wanted to, whenever. I still loved using all 8 of them, because each character genuinely has so many upsides to using. I didn't find that I found that I really wanted to play as all of them all the time, but obviously you can't have 8 players on the field in this game, so. I look back on my days with Octopath Traveler fondly, and even when you restrict yourself to certain, like, different categories, it makes the game harder, but it's still fun because it forces you to strategize, and I love that part about JRPGs in particular, but especially Octopath Traveler, that I could strategize and everything feels fluid. And nothing is just, there's like literally, I can't think of like nearly any negatives about Octopath Traveler. I literally can't think of any. I'm sitting here and I got nothing. So I think for that purpose, it's also going in S tier. I love that game so much, and there is no universe in which it's not up there. Okay, Mario Galaxy 2. Didn't complete last year, but I played a few hours of it, so therefore I think it could go on this list. I was playing co-op with my younger sister, and we were playing the Switch version, for the record. And while the one disappointment I will say with the Switch version, graphically it looks great, the UI updates are fantastic, and it controls really well just like it did, but my pointer didn't work as well. Like, it worked better in Mario 3D All-Stars. Because I own Mario 3D All-Stars. I bought it, yes, back in Mario's 35th. I bought it, and like the controls for Super Mario Galaxy were fluid, fantastic. Like, I had no issues with the pointer at all. But I had a lot of issues with the pointer in co-op with my younger sister playing this game. And that makes me really sad because Super Mario Galaxy 2 is a favorite. Absolutely love that game. And it makes it really hard to, collect star bits if your pointer's acting up all the time. Especially when you're playing not in handheld, but in dock mode. Sorry, Mario Galaxy 2. You deserve better than that. Maybe it's just a two-player problem. I haven't actually tried it in single player yet, but we'll have to do that later. So Galaxy 2... so good. It's so good. Like, the power-ups are all a lot of fun. The levels all feel fresh. They feel new. My only complaint about Galaxy 2, and it's always been my big complaint about Galaxy 2, even now, there aren't enough stars per galaxy. I feel like each star should have, like, at least, like, 3 main stars, you know what I mean? And most of them don't. Most of them have, like, 2. Or 1, even. And that just makes me sad, because I really, really like the Galaxy 2, and I feel like there could have been more done with them. That's one place I feel like Galaxy 1 did better than 2, is that it was able to utilize a galaxy to its fullest extent. Whereas 2, I feel like it falls flat sometimes. Don't even get me started on the green stars, but we'll get there. But we didn't get there this time around. I think overall, solid A-tier game. I really do like Galaxy 2, and I always have and I always will. So, I hope that maybe it could be pushed up a tier later, but we gotta get there first. Oh no. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. So I didn't actually play any story part of this year or really went back to grind for anything. The main reason I played this game was for weather. Because this game has a really good weather system. And I wanted to talk about it because even though it's not my favorite game, it definitely has a good weather system. But I'm gonna be controversial and place it in C. Now, why would I do that to it? Why would I do that to Breath of the Wild? I can hear the comments already. Hear me out. Breath of the Wild is a good open world game. It's not a good open world Zelda game. Now, I think that the map of Breath of the Wild, it's fun to explore. If I just wanted to relax and run around and walk around Hyrule, great for that. But the shrines. Most of them weren't that fantastic. I'm not even gonna lie to you, they weren't great. And I know I'm in the minority on that one. A lot of people like the shrines, especially like the original shrines where they were puzzle-based or they weren't just the test of strengths and blessing shrines. To put it bluntly, there are 3 categories of shrines in my head. There's category 1, which is every shrine, which is every other shrine that isn't, a test of strength or a blessing shrine. 2, the blessing shrines, or 3, the test of strength shrines. And you get really sick of doing test of strengths or finding blessings, unless you're in Hebra. The blessing shrines in Hebra were great. 10 out of 10, would find those again. But the rest of them, I can't remember most of the puzzles. They just weren't memorable. And the test of strengths frustrated me to no end because once you got to a certain point, they were like, they were easy if they were minor or moderate, but when you got to major, if you found one too early, which I did, by the way, in my first playthrough, it wasn't fun. I didn't like going through all of the shrines because I was scared of what I was gonna run into. I didn't want to run to the test of strength. I wanted to run to blessing shrines, but there were already too many of them as it was, and then the ones that were puzzles were fun, but most of them just weren't memorable. And then the Divine Beasts, don't even get me started about the Divine Beasts. These is a terrible attempt at a Zelda dungeon. Like, I think of a good Zelda dungeon, I think of Ocarina of Time's Forest Temple. Like, that's one of the best Zelda dungeons that there is. And I say that as someone that gets lost in that place. I get lost in the Forest Temple, but I like it. Because it forces me to think, and when I get turned around, I have to go back, retrace my steps, and think about it. It's confusing to the point where it's not frustrating. The Divine Beasts were just frustrating. I mean, another big disadvantage to the Divine Beasts is I don't like 3D maps. I find them very stupid to navigate most of the time. It's very rare that a game does a 3D map right. And this is one of those that didn't do it. It didn't do it well. Well, okay, it did it, but it didn't do it well. So that's a big disadvantage to Breath of the Wild. I didn't enjoy the story because I didn't enjoy a lot of the gameplay and I didn't enjoy the story. I really didn't enjoy the story because what was I fighting for? I was fighting for a Hyrule that was on the brink of like losing its survival. Like everything that Link cared about as a character was 100 years ago. That's the story I wanted to be playing, okay? I wanted to be playing the story that was 100 years ago, and I got to do that in Age of Calamity. Sort of. But I didn't get that in Breath of the Wild. The story I wanted to play, though, took place in the past, and that's probably where Breath of the Wild has held back the most in my head, is that it's not the events I want to be playing through, it's the aftermath of everything, and it just makes me sad. Because Breath of the Wild could have been this great open world Zelda, and it wasn't. In fact, Tears of the Kingdom did a lot better. But I know that's a controversial opinion, but that's my opinion. It just is. Someday I will explain that one if you all want to hear it. Anyway, back to ranking games though. Super Mario Party Jamboree. Ironically, Rhythm Kitchen is my favorite mode in this game, and it's literally just a rhythm game, and it's great. And it's the best part of Super Mario Party Jamboree. The Mario Party boards are a lot of fun in Jamboree. The mini games are also a lot of fun. They also have really good looking food. I can't be the only one that wants to eat all the sandwiches. They look really good, man. And the steaks. Oh, like the food, like the food looks so good. The graphics are so good. It's all just good. The mini games are fun, and the boards themselves are a lot of fun. I really enjoy playing the Mario Party Jamboree boards. And I like the amount of characters that there are so many of them back, and that Toadette's playable again. Good job, Mario Party. I was starting to wonder if she'd ever come back. And there's so much to love about Super Mario Party Jamboree, but also I think it says a lot when my favorite mode is Rhythm Kitchen and not Mario Party, which is really sad, but I really like Rhythm Kitchen. It's just a lot of fun to play, and it's a good challenge. So I think overall, because it's not the game I'm going to go to all the time, but it is a fun Mario Party, I think we're going to put it B tier. And yeah, I like it a little bit less than Paper Mario. I think we'll go with that. It's still a good game, it's just better if you play it with friends. Okay, Mario Kart World. Mario Kart World. I think that if you want the Mario Kart game that's a chill, relaxing experience, go play Mario Kart World. Literally go play it, because there's the free roam option where you could just drive around the whole terrain, and it's a lot of fun. I really enjoy being able to do that. However, that being said, I know a lot of people aren't. So let's get into the weeds on this one a little bit. I think Mario Kart World, if you want to just roam around and explore the courses, is a really good exploring racing game. It's unlike anything I've ever played before, racing-wise, and I think that's a good thing. I like when Nintendo tries to innovate and change the formula. I think they're best when they're trying to do something new, rather than stick to same old, same old. I know a lot of people are into nostalgia and want to stick to the same old, but the way I put it to people is that if I wanted to play, say, Paper Mario Thousand Year Door again, I would go back and play Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door. I don't need them to make a new game that's like Thousand Year Door, but isn't Thousand Year Door, you know what I mean? That's sort of where I am on the whole thing. So I appreciate Mario Kart World and that it tries something different. What I don't appreciate about Mario Kart World is that I don't have the option to play 3-lap tracks as often as I could, because the 3-lap tracks in this game are phenomenal. I don't have a track that I dislike, and that's pretty rare coming from me. Normally there's like a track or two that I just don't like playing on. But Mario Kart World, I love every track in that game. But the intermissions, even after updates, are still boring. There's no excitement to them. Even when you're playing racing online against other people, they aren't as fun. And to me, that's a pretty big problem, you know? Like, there's no universe in which I want to play an intermission track for the most part when I can play a 3-lap track and I know my experience is going to be infinitely better. Now, granted, the intermissions work on Knockout Tour, but they work well on Knockout Tour, and that's pretty much it. That's the only place I really want to play them. Otherwise, I have no desire to play the intermission tracks. However, is it still a good Mario Kart game? Yeah, it's still a good Mario Kart game. I think that, in general, it's not as good as Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I will not say that, but I think it's still at least a B-worthy game. It's really good. And There's not much else I can really say about it. It's just pretty good. It's good in what it can do, and it does something new, and I respect them for that, but is it my favorite Mario Kart? No. I think that award's probably always going to be held by Wii. I really liked Mario Kart Wii. Ooh, Donkey Kong Bonanza. A lot of people's game of the year last year, and I can't blame them. It's a really good collectathon. I loved going out of my way to go find all the bananas and all the fossils, because I went out of my way to go find all the bananas and find all the fossils. I really loved playing DK Bonanza in a way that's almost unhealthy. That being said, I do have a couple gripes. I really like the Bonanza transformations, for example. I really liked all of them and all the songs associated with them. Pauline just has a really good singing voice. It's always a treat to hear her sing. But I feel like I used at least 3 of them a lot, and then I didn't use the other 2. For example, Zebra, the second Bonanza you pick up, never used it. Like, except in very niche circumstances, I didn't use it otherwise. Not because I didn't like moving fast, I just had no reason to use it. There was really no good area for me to do that. And Snake, same problem. Whereas, I would use Snake in very specific circumstances, and that was it. But then you looked at Kong Bonanza, which you needed constantly to break through concrete, so that one came up a lot by default, but otherwise I didn't really use it. Then you had Ostrich, where you could fly, which it's always useful to be able to fly and glide, so, I used that one a lot, and Elephant to get through terrain to find things. Like, those... I think Elephant and Ostrich were the most useful Bonanzas, hands down, and they were a lot of fun to play as and use, but they weren't... There's a reason why I think... I really like those. There's a reason why I don't like DK Bonanza as much as Super Mario Odyssey, and that's one of them. Like, I feel like all the power I was given, I didn't necessarily I couldn't really use effectively. Which makes me sad because I really like DK Bonanza. The other thing that kind of grinds my gears is that the music is kind of just there. Like, I think of aquatic ambience when I think of Donkey Kong in general, when I think of Donkey Kong music, and the main DK theme. They're all good songs. Donkey Kong isn't known for having bad songs. It's known for having good songs, and these were okay, but the best ones were the Bonanza songs, and those are the only ones I can remember. Like, I can't tell you what the song was in the Tempest layer, or the Lagoon layer, or any other layer for that matter. I can't tell you what they were. I just can't remember. They're not there. They didn't stick out in any reasonable way. So, while, again, a very good game, it controls very well, and being able to find all these things, the sonar to find collectibles was so good. So good. So gameplay-wise, this was really fun. Story-wise, it was a Disney Princess story told in a Nintendo game, which was really funny to me. I think it's a really good game. I really like DK Bonanza, but is it my favorite? No, definitely not my favorite out of last year. I think it's a solid A-tier game, though, and I will die on that hill. It's a very good game. Oh, Yoshi's Crafted World. I really wanted to like you. I really love Yoshi games. I do. Like, I played the original Yoshi's Island. I played Yoshi's Island DS. I played Yoshi's Woolly World. I've played a few different Yoshi games at this point, and they're all usually pretty good. The gameplay's fun, the music's fun, and it's just generally overall a fun, positive experience. But when it came to Yoshi's Crafted World, everything felt the same. There wasn't much of a difference between a lot of levels. I felt myself getting bored a lot, which isn't good when you're playing a Yoshi game. I really want to enjoy Yoshi's Crafted World, I really do, but it feels like there's an option where you can play levels backwards, which is fine, but like, it's just playing the same level backwards, which, do I really care? No, I don't want to do that. If I want to play a video game, I want to play different levels, I want to experience different things, and I didn't even finish this game. Like, that's how unmotivated I was, which is really sad because I really wanted to like Yoshi's Crafted World, but there wasn't enough there to keep me engaged, entertained, and I wasn't motivated to even go for, like, the red coins or anything, which normally I would motivate to at least go for those in the flowers, but this time, just nah. And I've played other Yoshi games recently, so this is this game problem. I think it goes C, and that's where I'm gonna have to put it. Animal Crossing New Horizons. Oh, Animal Crossing, I'm so sorry. Oh, man. I played 2 days of Animal Crossing New Horizons, and honestly, I don't like Tom Nook. I don't think most people like Tom Nook, but I really don't like Tom Nook. He's just one of those characters that just grinds my gears in a way that I can't even begin to explain to you. So, having only him and Timmy and Tommy to start as like the other shop people, I guess is like your main vendors, for lack of a better word. That's kind of disheartening because I want to get to know people. And like I think about the initial spread of everybody who was available from the get-go in New Leaf, which is my first Animal Crossing game. I think of like Blathers was there. And, you know, I got to unlock Blathers. I got that far. Blathers showed up. But I got to unlock Blathers, and that was it. Like, there, like in New Leaf, there's Blathers, there's the Able Sisters, all three of them. There's Timmy and Tommy, and you know, like, and there's Tom Nook, of course. And then there was like the mail carrier, and that was it. And that's all I needed. I didn't need much. But I think New Horizons starts off with too little to get you started. And I understand we're on a deserted island. Thematically, it makes sense that, like, it's going to be you and a small group. But, because I don't know about you, I don't know a lot of people willing to move to a deserted island for no reason. But I think it started too small. And that's why it didn't hook me in the way that New Leaf did. Whereas, like, New Leaf, there was a lot to explore. Like, there were, like, 4 to 5 villagers to start. There was a lot to explore every day. And there was a lot to get to know and get to love. And this wasn't that. This wasn't that. I feel like it was such a slow start. And I don't know if it's because people, you know, had a lot of time during COVID that, like, people really got hooked on New Horizons. I just don't see the appeal. Maybe if I played more, I'd feel differently. But right now, I'd keep it in D. Now, for the final game, Octopath Traveler 2. I think you already could guess, given where I put Octopath Traveler 1, where this one's going. Octopath Traveler 2 is basically an improvement of Octopath Traveler 1 in every way. And I don't say that lightly. Octopath Traveler 1 was a fantastic game. But Octopath Traveler 2, its characters were just as fleshed out, if not more so. In fact, I'd argue more so. They were more so fleshed out, and all their personalities fit for exactly who they were. I loved getting to know this cast of characters and being able to experiment with different movesets that they used the same classes of jobs, but like they changed the moves. I made it feel like an entirely different game. Like if you want to talk about what Octopath Traveler and Octopath Traveler 2 are, they don't feel like the exact same game, which I think is a good thing. I would argue that Octopath Traveler 2 has better stories. Not that the stories weren't good before. I liked them before. I'm just gonna say that. It has better stories. The combats, they somehow made the combat system even better in a JRPG, and I don't know how. Like, am I ever gonna be able to play a turn-based RPG again? I don't know. Like, genuinely, I love the Octopath Traveler series. I love them all very much, and I'm looking forward to playing Zero one of these days. We're not there yet, but we're gonna get there. And I love just the combat, the stories, and where everything went. Being able to explore, like, granted, 2 continents, it feels like a lot, but honestly, it really wasn't all that. It wasn't as much, anywhere near as, you know, daunting as an experience as taking on the entirety of Octopath Traveler 1. In many ways, it was cool being able to explore between 2 different places and having, in many ways, almost smaller chunks, but not quite, because the worlds are still huge. A lot of exploration, the combat, I could rave about the combat system all day. It's just that good. Like, I feel like similar to Octopath 1, I felt like I could have any character in my party and things would act differently. And because it wasn't exactly the same as it was before, I felt like there was a lot of versatility there too. So, I really have no complaints about the Octopath Traveler series. There's, like, Square Enix knows how to make JRPGs. Like, if we ever doubt anything, don't doubt that. Anyways, that's all I have for you today. If you would like to see more content like this, be sure to subscribe. I have more on the way for you and can't wait to see what you think. I will see you all in the next one. Have a good day, everybody.